Okay. Hey everyone, welcome back. I'm laughing because I just recorded an entire video of me doing a review on this book without pressing record. So I made sure to go ahead and press record this time. And so I finally made it to the comic book shop, and I wasn't planning on getting maybe 3 of the books that I got. They were out of one I wanted. So I bought like 6, because I mean that's how it goes. But man, this was good. This was the best one I've read so far out of the ones that I got yesterday. And the reason I wasn't planning on getting it, the reason I got it was because I was flipping through Twitter posts, and I saw the writer. Actually, he wrote this about it. He said, "Not that I think my work is important, but with Killmonger, I'm trying to speak to people on the verge of being consumed by anger and bitterness. I was there once, and fiction helped me. In many ways, it's a letter to my younger self. I hope it has value for readers." And I was struck, and I was like, okay, well, that reminds me, of course, the second half of my very favorite quote about writing in general, by Robert McKee. He says, when talented people write well, it's generally for this reason. They're moved by a desire to touch the audience. And that's so true, because that's really what this book is about. It's very clearly about that desire, and it goes about it in a great way. So we'll just jump into the book. It starts right out. Of course, Killmonger is, the villain of Black Panther, and it shows them fighting hardcore, tearing it up. He's laughing because he's choking him. He's winning. Intense already. And bam, there's your hook. I mean, this whole thing is the hook. Everything that's being read here, and again, I'm not going to read through it. Pretty poetic, which is great. He has an awesome style to him, this writer. And he says right there, from the Journal of Law, by a name I can't pronounce, unfortunately. I would try. So this is great. Fantastic intro. Again, action. You always want your hook to have action, and this also has some emotion behind it, because they're talking about his ancestors. We're talking about, and this can be seen from someone's perspective of identifying either with the villain or Black Panther, because of course they're talking about their ancestors. They're talking about their mother goddess, and they share the same ancestry. So pretty cool. Very awesome intro. And then of course right here shows, it says years ago. This is him graduating from MIT. Yeah, and his counselor is basically saying, you're the one that everyone wants to hire. Got military, private, humanitarian. Everyone wants to hire you. He says he's clearly tortured. He's always has those creases right there on his forehead. He definitely seems upset through everything. He talks about his father. His father being killed, his father dying when he was a kid. He said it was an industrial accident. Kind of a different origin story. That's pretty cool. When they change, I think, of course, depending on the situation. So it goes on. She's like, he basically says, no, I'm not going to be your success story. I'm going my own way. And she said, you could have just told me by email. Why are you looking at me like that? And he came all the way there to reject her offer to her face, and then get her to sleep with him, of course, like a good villain would, reminiscent, of course, of I don't know, Lex Luthor. Good stuff though. I'm still your people. I'm the one that you can trust. And then he hands him a gun. It's a little bit of a flashback. You can see the panels here are not solid. That's how you can see that it's a different time. It's a flashback. It's a memory or a dream. Him remembering something. He says, remember your anger. It's your shield. Give your grief to it. Give your fear to it. That anger will keep you alive. Every outsider is your enemy. When your anger tells you that, you listen, boy. And then you see his hatred. He looks at her and says, colonizer. He's leaving, and she says, good luck in New York. Hope you find what you're looking for. Sure you do, Miss Weeks. colonizer. The fuck does that mean? So cool. Again, showing how far gone he is in his hatred, and this is good. It's another flashback. You have those same kind of panels where it's you can tell that it's not happening now. Whenever you do a different outline for panels, you tell your artist to do that. Your reader will know that you're in the middle of a flashback, just like this. And again, using different colors for an explosion. What a cool deal. This artist is fantastic. Really good stuff. I really recommend this book, by the way, specifically for this, for all of it. It's just really good. And this is another thing that shows the deep darkness that he's in because of his blind hatred. He basically kills his best friend. He said, "I wasn't a killer until you showed me I could be." And then my favorite scene, actually, in the whole book is right here. And I was reading this and I was like, where is this quote from? And then, of course, I see it right there on the table, Moby Dick. So that's good. I'll just go through this. This is so this quote is kind of at the end, and it's during this vengeance. The main character, he's driven by this desire to kill Moby Dick more than anything. That's all he wants. He just wants revenge, and it's very. I mean, right here, you have that symbolism. He really is just, and that's perfect. So when you use quotes, just kind of like I talked about in Ironheart #1, when you use quotes, you want them to have meaning to your story. This is the perfect quote for this book. Again, it just works really well. Talking about how he just right before this, he talked about the writer. Talked about how, not the writer of this book, but the writer of Moby Dick, talked about how it basically doesn't matter if he dies. He doesn't care about that. He says, "Toward death I roll." He says, "Towards thee I roll, thou all destroying but conquering whale. To the last I grapple with thee. From hell's heart I stab at thee. For hate's sake I spit my last breath at thee." Such a cool scene right there. His gun's laying right in front of him. Time to get going. Cool. So you see the claw, and this is cool. Again, using this color here shows the darkness here. You can see the dark. You can see how everything's grayed. You can see the motion lines here. The wind rushing. You can see the light. This is great art, by the way. Just very good. And this whole scene. He has him in his sights, the claw. Tons of action. Someone stops him. The claw gets away. And bam, she's about to kill him. And they say, "Nope, we're gonna bring him to the boss." Still the same color, specifically throughout. Really adds contrast to the page when everything's different. And you can see the use of the color. It really brings your attention right there each time to where that red is. You want to focus on it more. It pulls you into it. So again, writers, when you really want to bring emphasis into something, tell your artist to really focus on that in a different color, because that's exactly what it'll do every single one of those pages. Because of that, it brings it right to that point immediately. That focus is there. And then he finds up he's tied up. And he clearly doesn't even care if he lives or dies. "You should have let me kill Claw, because now I have to kill you too." And of course, it's the Kingpin. Totally awesome. They bring him into this. He said, "I'm acutely aware of the cost. It would behoove you to tell me what benefits I would have in keeping you alive." And Killmonger says, "I'm the smartest person in this room, and I don't have to prove it to you. Do whatever the fuck you want, fat man." Very, very cool. It shows his blind hatred. Again, he says, just do away with him. He's going to kill him. Very awesome fight scene right here. Again, I'm not going to go through any of the rest of this. I think it's best to just see it through to the end. Guys, pick this book up. This book is on my recommend list by far, and the reason why, it's rich in character development. You can tell exactly where this character is coming from. It spells it out. It spells it out there in the entire book. There's a driving force. The whole thing, like, the book makes sense, and at the very end, you'll see that that imagery again as well of the panther, and again, it kind of reminds me of the shaman of the Nahuals. Gosh, no, really, check this book out. I am going to have at least one more video up tomorrow. I hope to have two, and then one after that. It really depends on how much time I have. I hope I have time. I've got so much going on. Guys, I enjoy these videos. Hit the subscribe button and the bell for notifications. You are the only gateway into comics. Just continue to read about writing, and I will talk to y'all tomorrow. Have a great day.